لذاتها.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Honorable viewers, once again, this is a very brief analysis of our brother in Islam, Abu Taymiyyah, and a video he has on the attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
And to ask the question of how, it's an innovation. Because the companions never asked this question. Rather, they used to take it literally. بِلِسَانٍ عَرَبِيٍّ مُبِينٍ. Allah told them in with a Arabic tongue. He told them like that. The Prophet told them, and khalas, they took it like that literally. Now,
my brothers, this is not taking away any of the da'wah and the guidance towards good, speaking against kufr and ilhad and all the other anti-Islamic ills and vices in our society. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept that from us, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept that from brother Abu Taymiyyah. This is solely and solely on the issue of Aqida, because my brothers, yes, we can speak on da'wah and general common themes in the Muslim community and the things that the Muslim Ummah needs. That's fine. And that is mamduh, that is something which is praiseworthy. However, when it comes to the attributes, when it comes to the essence and the being of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this also needs to be taught correctly to the people. So this video is solely for this purpose, to get things moving and get our brother thinking as to where he is going wrong. Now, the methodology which brother Abu Taymiyyah has taught is that Sahaba radiyallahu anhum ajma'in took the meaning of Allah rose above his throne, which he mentioned in English, literal. Now obviously Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has not said these words rose above his throne in English. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has used the word or the words istawa ala al-arsh. Now this brother has translated this as rising above the throne, and then he's added to it from his own self that the Sahaba took this literally. Now he is calling towards what is known as literalism, right? So when we look into the dictionary, we find that literalism is in contrast to taking a metaphorical meaning. And if I'm wrong in this, or this is not the context of what Abu Taymiyyah is saying, then he can clarify. But my brothers, what we need to understand here is that brother Abu Taymiyyah is talking about literalism coming from the Sahaba. And this we feel and we know, and there is no proof on this, so we are certain about this being a lie against the Sahaba radiyallahu anhum ajma'in. Why? It's because in the last video, Maulana Abdul Halim clearly mentioned to you that there are two types of verses. The verses that seem to apparently outwardly suggest Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala being everywhere. There is also statements of Sahaba radiyallahu anhum ajma'in, or a statement from the Sahabi Abdullah bin Umar radiyallahu anhuma, where he mentioned فَإِنَّهُ بِكُلِّ مَكَانٍ, because Allah is in every place. Are we going to take that literally? Are we going to take that as his literalism of the verse وَهُوَ مَعَكُمْ أَيْنَمَا كُنْتُمْ? If someone were to take that, what would the Salafi brothers say about him? Whereas he would be acting upon the methodology being taught by, in principle, being taught by Abu Taymiyyah. He's just applying the methodology to a different verse. So my brothers, in this video, I just want to show you where brother Abu Taymiyyah's methodology leads to. Look, he said, take this literally. So this is now rising above the throne literally. Look on the screen and you can see that there is a scan of the tashrih and the interpretation of a Salafi scholar. by the name of Sheikh Usama bin Tawfiq al-Qassas. And he mentioned under the athar and the tradition of Abdullah bin Abbas radiyallahu anhuma, which states al-kursiyu mawdi'ul qadamain, the kursi that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about, wasi'a kursiyuhu samawati wal ard, that the kursi of Allah expands over the skies and the earth, the heavens and the earth. He says that Abdullah bin Abbas radiyallahu anhuma has been reported to have said that the kursi is mawdi'ul qadamain, the place of the 2 feet. The place of the 2 feet. So now look at how this Salafi scholar goes one step further now and then says that the kursi, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this is the place of Allah's qadamain, 2 feet, and with it yastawi ala arshihi. With it Allah does istiwa on his arsh. And then he says that this is what the Salaf have understood, and he uses the word kal mirqati ilayhi. Kal mirqati ilayhi. Allahu Akbar. He says that the kursi of Allah is in front of the arsh of Allah. What do you call a footstool? And he says the kursi of Allah is like a step. Is like a step to get on the arsh. Now he's attributing this to the Salaf, that they believed the kursi of Allah is like a step that is used for the 2 feet of Allah to get onto the actual throne. Now, then we have another thing which I've been challenging again and again and again to our Salafi brothers. And none of them are coming forward. And now I am just appealing to Brother Abu Taymiyyah that if you can maybe come and discuss with us that the julus of Allah that has been mentioned as established, as authentically thabit in the Shariat of Islam, in the sacred scriptures, by your grand Sheikh, Sheikh Al-Uthaymin or Ibn Al-Uthaymin, who was of recent times one of the greatest alim within the pseudo-Salafi, Wahhabi world. And he said that the sitting of Allah is established only for Allah. And then we have our brother Abu Mus'ab, who tried to reject this and deny this and said he hasn't said this. And I said, well, prove to me he hasn't said this. Prove to me he's negated Allah sitting. And I will bring after that, and I will follow this up with he has established this. He has mentioned this. And I still won't mention it here. So I call upon Brother Abu Taymiyyah to explain, because this is a Christian belief. This is not a Muslim belief, that Allah sits upon the arsh. Regardless of who said it. It's got no place in Quran, Sunnah, and the Sahaba radiyallahu anhum ajma'in. Regardless of, because the Salafi methodology outwardly is again and again told by them that we only take what's in Quran and Sunnah. How can we invent something from our own selves and then said, oh, well, Shaykh al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah said this, or Shaykh Ibn al-Qayyim said this? Well, they are not an evidence in Sharia. The julus of Allah I mentioned in my previous videos, and I will mention again here, is from the Bible, and this is a Christian belief. This is not the belief of a Muslim. And then based on the methodology of Brother Abu Taymiyyah, the julus of Allah, the sitting of Allah is established according to his grand Sheikh and is to be taken literally, because this is what Brother Abu Taymiyyah is saying. It has to be taken literally, and the Sahaba would take things literally. So when we take sitting literally, what is the end result? Allah literally sits. And then he has a footstool in front of his arsh that he's sat on. And the footstool is like a step with which Allah used to do istiwa on the arsh, which is the sitting of Allah, and Allah sits on the arsh. My brothers, where is this leading to? This is the topic of today's video. Where is this leading to? We started off from istawa ala al-arsh in the Noble Quran. And then we've gone on to a step that Allah uses to do istiwa on the arsh. Then we've moved on from there to establish Allah sits, a Christian belief. And all these are coming from senior shuyukh of the Wahhabiyah, the pseudo-Salafis. My brothers, and brother Abu Taymiyyah, for Allah's sake, think what your methodology is doing to the people, because you are promoting literalism. So they will simply literally open a dictionary, Arabic dictionary, and they will see the word julus there, sitting. They will find the literal meaning of that. And then when they see that Sheikh Uthaymeen has said Allah sits, they will take that literally, because brother Abu Taymiyyah is teaching online that the Sahaba took things literally, and Sheikh Uthaymeen obviously will not be saying a belief from his own self. It must be from Sahaba that Allah sits on the arsh. The end result is Allah literally sits. So this is not any form of attack on our brother. May Allah increase him in goodness. But this is a food for thought, for him to think, maybe come out and discuss and rectify these issues that he has put inside the ummah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Because my brothers, moving away from this, okay, after years of preaching this thing, moving away and then talking about X, Y, and Z online, becoming a social media star, becoming the talk of TikTok, does not redeem the wrongs and the deviance that has been spread for years just by talking about gangster attitude or drugs or women, because this is related to Aqida. So you'll have to come out and clarify what wrongs you have set in the Aqida and the creed of Al-Islam and the wrong attributions towards Sahaba and the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the Noble Quran. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us understanding. Wa akhiru da'wana and alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen.